turning yellow. The air is getting cold. My mind is feeling mellow. The days of fall are growing old. When I say that your arms should always be around me.
Well, my friends, let's get this video started off delicious with a pot of lasagna soup. I have browned up my ground beef with diced onion and fresh garlic, a little salt and pepper. I'm going to add in just a sprinkle of crushed red pepper flake and some Italian seasoning, and we're going to get this thing going. Alright, the recipe says 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, unless you want a deeper tomato flavor. I'm going to put this whole thing. We like a deep tomato flavor, and I'm excited to try this Cento brand of tomato paste. I know this is a good brand, and it was actually just as good a price as the store brand. So I don't know what that was about, but I'm glad to have this one to try. All right, now I need 6 cups of chicken broth. I'll be using this Knorr chicken flavor bouillon. So you add 1 teaspoon. According to the package directions here, just follow that, to 1 cup of boiling water. Mine is not boiling. I don't ever usually do it boiling, but it is hot. So I'm going to add that in to make my broth. Next, I'll be adding in 2 cans of these petite diced tomatoes. This recipe actually calls for the fire roasted, but I don't have those. I'm sure those would be wonderful. So in with the 2 cans of tomatoes that I do have. Hey, are you going to sing your song? Say na 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 na. Can you sing it? I wanted to leave that clip in there because that is just so cute. Finley was singing his little Sunday school song, and of course when I put the camera on him, he didn't want to do it. So the ingredients you need for the topping are Parmesan cheese, ricotta cheese, salt, and pepper. You mix that together, and that goes on top of your Parmesan soup, and let me tell you, you do not want to leave that off. It is so, so good. And then for the pasta I'm going to be using, it's this pumpkin pasta. It's the most beautiful shaped pasta I think I've ever seen. And so this worked great. Most recipes call for broken up pieces of actual lasagna noodles. That's the way my daughter-in-law makes hers. It is delicious that way too, but you want a pretty good size hearty pasta for this soup. Alright, and here is that yummy cheesy topping to put on top of the soup. It is so, so good. I have the full recipe, of course, down below in the description box, and this part is so yummy. I may even double that the next time. I just served a side salad, and then I just toasted up some bread that I had, little hoagie rolls for our garlic bread. There it is, all ladled up. I'm telling you what, this soup is so good. Do yourself a favor and give this one a try if you haven't. Alright, another night we had this oven-ready breaded cod from Trader Joe's. I've showed this before. It is a really, really delicious fish. Of course, it's frozen. I do mine in the air fryer as well as these seasoned fries in the air fryer. It makes for a really quick but really tasty meal. And I just served some tartar sauce on the side that I made up with some mayonnaise and some pickle relish, a little dash of hot sauce, and that was a really quick and easy meal for us. Very delicious, and something from the freezer that I could just pull out in a hurry. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to put this pizza in the oven. I recently found pizza dough, like a big round pizza dough packaged at Aldi for like $1 something. I've bought this style of pizza dough at Trader Joe's before, so it reminded me of that. I bought 2 of them. I've had them in my freezer. I just thawed one out, topped it with some homemade pizza sauce that I also had in my freezer from the last time I made it. I have some sausage and onion under there, mozzarella cheese, pepperoni on top, and then I also had some black olives in the freezer. I chopped those up and put them on top. This is going to be a quick Saturday evening pizza night for us. I'll show you when it comes out of the oven. This was so delicious. I have since found this crust again at Aldi and purchased a couple more for the freezer because we really enjoyed it. Crust can make a big difference on your pizza, and this one was a really good one. Any guesses as to what we're having tonight? I got out our sauces. This top EMS sauce is our favorite, like a Louisiana style. I get it at Kroger. And then I have this spicy garlic wing sauce. To go along with what we're having, I'm going to make these pot stickers. They're from Trader Joe's. They're very good. So when we fill up our big fryer with oil for whatever we're going to cook up, we try to use it while we have it in there. So this is kind of what prompted this night. Of course, we love chicken wings anyways. So we just did wings and the pot stickers in the hot oil. It was so good. The wings are so crispy when you do them that way. I put just a little bit of flour and some cornstarch on there to kind of give them the breading. Just dropped them in that hot oil, and then we put our sauces on as we wanted them, and it turned out so good. It was another quick meal. Felt like we were at a restaurant, but we were at home. It was so good. All right, I'm excited to show you guys this meal. This is a COPYCAT RAX roast beef BBC, or COPYCAT Arby's beef bacon cheddar sandwich. We just loved Rax when we used to have those around our area. And if you're thinking these are some pretty quick and easy meals, they definitely are. This is about 2 weeks leading up before Thanksgiving. Anytime I am very busy with our house or before holidays or whatever, I choose easier meals. They do not lack on flavor though, and this one was so good. Let's get into it. All right, to make these yummy sandwiches, you just want to get from your lunch meat case some very thin sliced roast beef. I would say not from the deli. This prepackaged, I think, is the thinness that you need. You need some mild cheddar cheese or some cheddar cheese sauce. Really is what you're needing to go on top. You need some barbecue. You could make your own. The recipe I used showed the recipe for it, but I chose to just use this open pit. And then this is what I'm going to use for my beef broth. And so, and of course some horseradish. We like that as well. So into my boiling water here, I'm going to drop some of the dry powder beef base. Just follow the directions on the canister there for that, or just boil up some beef broth if that's what you have. The idea here is to just dip down into this broth the roast beef to get it very moist and tender, and it kind of softens. That's what you want to do with this broth. Now, because of the thinness of this, you don't leave it in there long because then it would get tough. So you just kind of dip it in for a little bit and then pull it out, and then here's what it looks like. It kind of gives you that idea of Arby's or Rax, whatever. I used these seeded buns here, and so on the bottom and the top, I put a little bit of that cheddar cheese sauce, and I put on my roast beef. Also on the BBC beef bacon cheddar, you have bacon, of course. So in my air fryer, I had already fried up the bacon. And so I just began building this sandwich with the cheese sauce, of course, the roast beef, the bacon, and then I thought the open pit would taste somewhat similar to like a horsey sauce, or not the horsey sauce, the barbecue sauce. the Arby sauce, I guess is what it's called. And it actually really did. And then horseradish sauce, the horsey sauce, we love that as well. So of course we had to use a little bit of that. And then I always like to add shredded lettuce to my roast beef sandwiches when I'm out. I just order them with shredded lettuce. It just gives it a cold crunch on top that makes it absolutely perfect. We love these so much. And I will definitely keep this one in my mind so I can make these more often. It's quick, it's easy, and then served up with just some seasoned fries. It just, like I said before on another meal, it tastes like we were out to eat, picking up some fast food, but I was making it right here at home. So give this one a try. If you like roast beef sandwiches, this one is so, so good. Hello everyone, tonight's dinner we are making Copycat Taco Bell Burrito Supremes. That is my favorite thing to get there, and here lately my husband's kind of on a kick of it too. We don't go to Taco Bell very often, maybe once every 3 or 4 months, but I do like it. We do like it when we go. So I don't have all the ingredients out here, but you need, of course, your tortillas. It said red sauce was optional, so I'm going to use, I just have a little bit, you can see there, just a little bit in the bottom of this jar of this Ortega taco sauce, so I'm going to use that in place of like red sauce. It called for taco seasoning. I have this Old El Paso cheesy, refried beans. It called for some tomatoes. I just pulled these out of my freezer. You can see here they're frozen. You can hear. If we don't get through cherry tomatoes as quick as they are fresh, you know, if they're starting to be not as fresh, I just throw them in the freezer and I put them in anything and everything. So I'm going to use a few of these. What I do when I do this with taco meat, I just throw them in there frozen and they cook through in no time. And then I just use my meat utensil that kind of helps to break up my meat or whatever. And then I just break those down with that. Okay, so that's the ingredients here that I've got out right now. We're gonna get started on this meat. You probably hear it's defrosting in my microwave. I'll show you as I come along. All right, my daughter-in-law taught me this trick. If you want to bump up your refried bean game, add a little bit of bacon grease. This is a jar of bacon grease I keep in my refrigerator. I'm telling you what, it makes the best difference in the taste and in the consistency of canned refried beans. This was absolutely cracking me up. I could not get this meat chopper to land on these just right for a few minutes at least, and then I finally got it going. Apparently you have to hold your mouth just right to get this thing to mash up these little cherry tomatoes. They're just slick and they kept sliding around everywhere, of course. So I finally managed to get those all crushed down. All right, look at those good looking refried beans. I put the bacon grease in there. I showed you that. I'm going to also do another little trick. I'm going to sprinkle in just a smidge of this taco seasoning. It's not going to be much. I'm going to put a little bit in there, and of course all the rest will go over here in my ground beef, which is just about done. You saw me smash up those tomatoes in there. So we are just waiting here for this to be finished. We'll start adding in the taco seasoning. All right, I got all of the grease drained out of the skillet there. I put in the cheesy seasoning mix, and that made such a thick and really nice texture to this meat. It was very cheesy tasting. We really liked it. Now I'm going to just start building this Copycat Taco Bell Burrito Supreme.
Who would have thought that Christmas could bring tears to my eyes? Don't get me wrong, still enjoyful times. We're gonna sing this song. Look at the snow.
We just zapped this in the microwave for a minute or so and warmed it all the way through, kind of softened up that tortilla. It was so delicious. We will definitely be making this one again. Just served it with a crunchy shell taco on the side. Again, so good. And for this very last meal in this video, I am using some leftover Thanksgiving turkey. We are past Thanksgiving now, and I am going to make some turkey and dumplings. So I have my kettle here full of chicken broth. I've also sprinkled in some parsley, and I've just chopped up just a little bit of turkey that we had left, not much at all, and I've got that down in my broth. I normally don't add peas and carrots or any type of veggie to my dumplings, but for some reason that sounded good, so I just put in a little bit, I don't know, maybe a cup or so, and just let that cook together with the broth. In the meantime, I went ahead and put together my dumplings. Now, I did not have shortening, and the recipe that I follow calls for shortening. So what I did instead is just found a different recipe that called for butter, and it did work just as well. The consistency was just a little bit different after the dumplings were done. I would say they were a little bit more dense, but that was okay. They were still good. I will have the recipe that I followed this time around and the recipe that I normally follow linked down below. What I like to do is use my cookie scoop to put my dumplings into my broth. It just works perfectly. It's the right size. It's quick, and that's a trick that I always like to follow and use when I am making dumplings. And there they are, looking delicious. I added some pepper in there, you can see that, and had some leftover mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving as well, and this just made a really, really yummy lunch. I think this was a lunch day that I had made this for lunch, and it was so good. We really enjoyed that with our leftovers. Alright, my friends, that winds up this video. Thank you so much for clicking on, for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you like easy recipes, easy meals, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider hitting that red subscribe button, and I'll see y'all the next time.
Happy Christmas to